Welcome to Hashtime with Navguzi Chwanuka. This is a place where we help you unravel social constructs, discuss self-development in line with mental health, emotional well-being, and everything in between that directly or indirectly affects us in the millennial world around us. If you're hearing my voice for the first time and are the kind of person who is not scared of being a better version of yourself even if it requires you to contradict who you were 24 hours ago, consider this your virtual home. I'm your host, Navguzi Chwanuka, and I cannot wait to engage with you in the various conversations. There we go. Jagero, happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday over there. How are you doing?
Great. How are you?
I'm very, very well. Life is very, very good. The village is usually a good place to be. It reminds me of when I was young. It reminds me of things that I missed in my childhood. So lately I've been very, very much disillusioned by staying in Nairobi because I feel like when I'm in Nairobi, life is too fast, so many things that I'm doing, and every now and again I want to go back to the village and sort of just cool down because I'm feeling like Nairobi is going away with my soul very slowly, sometimes even faster. So I am here in the village trying to make things work in the village. I'm trying to do some poultry farming. I'm trying to plant more trees. I am doing this and that. I'm thinking of so many things. The reason why a lot of people have run away from the village is because of how neglected the village is. And that is the difference that I want to make. I want to make the village great again. If you know what I'm talking
Make
about.
America great again. So you're on a mission of make Nyakach great again.
Not Nyakach great again. Nyakach is pretty too big. I'm trying to make my village great again. So that is basically what I'm trying to do. So I am still in the village doing a few things. I'm fencing my home right now and making sure that there is water. There is a solar water pump that I'm installing. So that is why I'm in the village. But anyway, how is Uganda? Uganda is the same old. It looks like a lot of African countries are trying to mean business with this idea of gay and lesbian bill. Ghana is faster than Uganda in making things, I think there is something going on in Africa about this bill. Zambia is doing it. Ghana is doing it. Uganda has done it. People are doing it all over the place, and America is pretty pissed off. That lady, the vice president of America, was in Ghana the other day, and she was very much pissed off at what Ghana is trying to do. And the Ghanaian politicians were telling them, "Look, the biggest business that you do, the biggest foreign government that you do business with is Saudi Arabia and Qatar. And lesbianism there or homosexuality is punishable by death. But you've never stood on a podium and castigated them the way you are." So the Ghanaian politicians were telling America that stop going for the weak person. Just go to Qatar and solve it with them. Then you can come back to Ghana.
They're scared of Qatar. They're scared.
Yeah?
They're scared of Qatar. You saw what happened in the World Cup.
Yeah. They really wanted it World Cup to happen there. So anyway, news around the world is that Hakimi, the PSG player, who is a Moroccan, apparently the lady was 36 when they were getting married, and he was 22, I believe.
No. He was 19 and she was 31. Right now she is, I think, 36 and he's 24.
And then I hear that she married this teenager, for 2 years or whatever time, and then now she wanted to have what the boy has.
It's a very good thing that you started it with, apparently, because news coming out debunking what is trending. And for me, what that manifests for me is indeed false news runs faster than what is true. Because what you see with the debunking of what's trending is that they are separated because Hakimi is currently dealing with a court suit, that is, in which he is being accused of raping a certain lady. And that is why this lady...
that is something that is going on in the entire fallen world. And there is a lot of things that are going on there that is not right, Just the other day, Greenwood was accused of rape, and now all the charges have been dropped. The Manchester United player, Mendy, was accused of I think 80, and 6 of them have been dropped.
Wow.
And the Crown Police are not even sure if they are going to go ahead and try and get him back to court. The Everton player, who is not named up to now, was accused of rape 2 years ago. And he was suspended by Everton. He went for 2 years without playing. His career is destroyed. And now the police has dropped all charges. So there is a lot of rape accusations among footballers. What people are saying is that these women are throwing themselves at these footballers, having sex with them, trapping them into their sort of a honeypot, and hoping that they're going to have a relationship. Because if you're going to have a relationship which is official with a footballer, like a PSG player, who is earning €1 million every year, then you might not want to work for the rest of your life. I mean, soothsayers are saying that these women are accusing these people of rape. Like, for example, all the women that accused Mendy of rape all slept in his house. They all went to his house and had sex there. So the idea is, this lady is saying, all right, we agreed with Mendy to go over to the house. Yeah. We had sex. But at some point, I did one. But those are almost 5 of them are claiming the same thing. That in the middle of this thing, having sex in the kitchen, having sex in the sitting room, they decided that enough that they don't want any more of this. And Mendy apparently decided to go on and have sex with them against their will. So now the jury is asking themselves, how are we going to somebody of rape? There is nobody in this house. There are the 2 of you. Yeah. You are saying that you have agreed to go to his house to have sex. At some point, you've decided you don't want to have sex. But Mendy is saying that it was all consensual from A to Z, like the Americans would say. I think that there is a lot of, there are so many things in this rape accusations against. Look at Neymar. Neymar had a video. And you remember they told one of the security people told Neymar that we are going to give you a camera that every time you're sleeping with a woman, you have to have this camera on.
Wow.
Every time you are sleeping with a woman, you put a woman in a hotel, this camera has to be on. Because these women are going to accuse you of rape for sure. And they did.
Dude, but wait a minute. Hold on. Just wait. Yes. First pause on that. Are these women supposed to be aware that the camera is on?
They are not.
That is wrong.
Yes. And it is very wrong. And I agree with you that it's very wrong. If you do not put on a camera, like, how many women have Neymar slept with? He has camera footage with all of them. But has he put them to the public? No. But the moment you come out and say that they raped you, they will release that video footage.
And the thing is that someone can also land on them and they get published.
But you see, you women say that you believe the women. But women are lying out here, especially women that are getting men that have got the money. They are lying.
That happens.
Look at Ronaldo. Ronaldo was accused of rape in the United States. Ronaldo had to pay $300,000 USD to the woman so that she can just go away. And she went away after Ronaldo paid. They went with Ronaldo to court. Ronaldo said that, I am not accepting that I raped this lady. This lady should accept $300,000 and just go away because it is my money she wants. And he paid the $300,000. Apparently that this lady is not going to bring it up again. Then this lady eats the $300,000 USD. Then after 2 years, she comes up again and says that she was charged by money.
Whoa.
And the reason why these ladies are going after these footballers is because they want the money. The moment you agree, or if you agreed to have the relationship going, they will not accuse you. Yeah, so...
On the part of Ronaldo, I feel like if he wanted her to just go away, she should have also entered some form of agreement to never bring this up again.
I think that is how law works, that you can actually pay somebody without admitting guilt.
But it also goes into writing. It can be placed into writing and, oh my God. But you know, I do really believe you on that part. It's happening. It's true that women get violated. And it's also true, like there are two contradicting truths at the same time, that sometimes women are just using these to tarnish guys' names. Guys that have really gained some sort of reputation and they have a lot to lose and they know they can earn from that. Because even for those that don't really have a reputation, but they just know they can earn something out of that. And I think what brought me to that realization was I've seen some cases, some reports, people being released after 38 years in prison over things that weren't true. And it's just absurd seeing that someone has lost like 38 years of their life. They have not lived basically. They've just been in prison over something that they didn't do. And it brings me to a question of, okay, what happens to the other woman? I feel like there should be laws that bar these women from continuing with this. Because if there is nothing that is happening where they are saying that if you tell lies about being sexually assaulted, raped, and everything that underlies those definitions, there should be repercussions to that. I feel like that is something that should come up.
And to be fair to some women, it is true that some women are abused.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. And there are other women that cook up these things. Mm-hmm. Now, when you go into a court and you are not found guilty, it does not mean that you did not, it doesn't mean
that the woman wasn't violated.
Yes, the thing is that for us taking this man to prison, he's going to go to prison for a long time. And his life is basically destroyed. What the court is saying, what the law is saying, is that we are not saying that you are not violated. Cannot prove that you are violated.
Yeah.
That is clear. And I know as a lawyer you understand. We cannot prove that you are violated. So in this situation, everybody is suffering. This man has been suffering in court for the last 1 year, sometimes even 4 years. You are in court battling this case. You are violated. Whether the law has noted that you have not violated, but both of you are suffering. But because we cannot say for sure that this man violated you, there is no clear evidence this man violated you. Because sometimes rape is just about your word against my word.
Yeah.
You are two in a house, and one person is coming out, not even 24 hours later. This person is coming out 1 year later. That what happened under the roof? Two people in a kitchen.
Yeah.
One is saying that they were violated. And the court cannot clearly say. And when they look at the circumstances leading to this rape in court, they realize that you were not kidnapped in this man's house. In your own words, you're saying that you agreed to meet and have sex.
Yeah.
You see? But now, at some point, you are saying that you withdrew your yes.
Yeah, the consent can be withdrawn.
Yes, and inserted. The problematic about it is that we cannot prove that you even said stop. We cannot even prove that you said stop.
Yeah, there is also that part where because when we are dealing with cases and trying to understand case by case, there is what we call the actus reus and the mens rea. And the actus reus is the act, and the mens rea is your intention behind it. So now when you're talking about this and I'm seeing these footballers, let's say, basketballers, I'm wondering if you take this person, there is a chance that they have it in their mind that at some point when he is hungry for me, I'm going to withdraw the consent. And I know he cannot actually follow through with that.
Yeah. So my thinking is that a lot of, if you look at men are very unsympathetic to women, which is a shame. If you look at the online, the way things are going right now, men are very unsympathetic of women who are accused of rape. And what they are saying is that women have found out a way that they were raped. Women have found out a way to lie that they were for gain, for pure financial gain. Look at even the backlash, how the celebration, the wild celebration about what just happened with Hakimi. You could see that there was a celebration within the community of men.
Yeah.
And why is that? And that is why I'm telling you last when we are having a discussion and you are telling me that some men really enjoy treating women. I was telling in my estimation, no man enjoys that. And no man enjoys the idea that whenever a relationship is popping up, that the man has to shoulder everything that goes, the economic side of that relationship is mostly carried by the man. And you see, I was that men hate this, and you're saying that some men like it. Because
some do.
There is a time I heard women saying that Rick actually was telling me that not like women like cleaning houses. They have been socialized to be cleaners.
Yeah.
They have been socialized to be caregivers. They have been socialized. Men, on the other hand, have been socialized to carry that heavy burden of relationships.
Yeah.
And that is the biggest problem. So you see that even women who are mothers and looking at their sons, and they know that is the kind of enmity between a mother-in-law and the wife. Because the mother-in-law knows that the moment you introduce a woman, the moment a woman introduces herself into the son's life, then all that help that their son was giving her before the marriage, it is either going to be 50-50, or the woman might even start dictating how much she's given.
But don't you find that absurd?
It is absurd on levels, because first of all, the woman should have with her own help, with her own finances. She should join marriage with her own finances. Let's leave that part before getting to the marriage. Can we talk about that part of the black tax? I don't even know if I should call it the black tax. Is it only happening in Africa? It is, to a large extent, yes, only in Africa. To a large extent.
So for that part, I find it absurd that my mother would have been very much expectant of everything coming from her sons and feeling like it's a detriment.
Or from you.
No.
Because that is the idea of black tax.
No, but then, wait, hold on. Right now we're talking about family dynamics and where the man is holding everything that comes with the financial burden, right? So it would be very absurd if my mother was yes, she could have support from her sons, but to feel like it is a competition between her and the son's family is wild. It's a wild thing to think of on my part, surely. It's crazy. Because if we are conditioning guys to take care of their families, take care of everything that, whatever they can, and you feel like, no, I should be the one to be placed first before. I mean, we're still having these conversations on the internet. If your mother decided to take the front seat and your wife also wants it, what do you do? Like, what the heck? Really?
The problem there is the fact that in Africa, we use it as life insurance. And that goes back to how many kids African people have.
Yeah.
The idea is that we have so many children, and therefore we extend race among us these children that we sire. So somebody has got 5 kids. The moment they start having kids, they forget about themselves.
Yeah.
And sometimes that is why people are saying that when people tell me to add another child after Maya, I ask myself, right now I am 8 years old. By the time this child becomes an adult, I will be 60.
Mm-hmm.
The life expectancy in Africa is just about 70 right now.
It's about?
So why would it's about 70.
70. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So why would I want to struggle raising a kid for 20 years? Sometimes there are people who are being supported by their parents even at 25,
Yeah.
So if I am going to get a child right now and then support this child for another 20 to 25 years, that means if I'm raising a child so that this child can help me in old age, this child is just going to help me for 10 years. And for you to raise a child right now, in my estimation, by the time a child is 18 years, it's upwards of 10 million Kenya shillings. So that's about 100,000 USD. So if you want life insurance, why don't you just put the money in that life insurance and you're assured that after 20 years you have got the money in bulk? And even if you're spoiling yourself after 70 years, then you can actually hire a nurse to come and take care of you.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea is that parents giving birth to so many children and claiming that these people are going to take care of them. And that is the belief. So when a woman has 5 children or maybe 3 sons, the expectation that these sons are going to be helping her. And she's going to be very pissed off when another woman takes this child, goes to Mombasa, goes to Kampala, goes to any other part of the country with her, with the boy, and the boy is not sending money. She is going to be pissed off.
Can you imagine? I really find it ridiculous. Oh my God. It's like you just become a prisoner of someone. It's really absurd. It's like commoditizing your role as a parent. That is what we're doing.
That's what it is. There is no any other way of saying it.
Because what is oh my God. And you know what, the way how you've said it, there's a time when my cousin decided to take another degree after his first degree. And my uncle was very much open to that idea. And then he asked him, but I'm investing so much money, how do you intend to pay me back? And my cousin was like, don't worry, I'll educate your grandchildren. Yeah, but then here I am thinking that, oh my God, so someone can actually does take all this time taking care of you. Meanwhile, you didn't ask to be around, but they expect you to pay back for what they invested.
It is absurd. So to be fair to these people is that they are afraid of old age.
Yeah.
They are afraid because it's a cycle. You are taking care of your parents right now.
Mm-hmm.
and you're saying who's going to take care of me, and you're giving birth so that somebody can take care of you. But in my estimation, it's a huge gamble. This child can die at 20 years. Are you going to start giving birth again? They can be in a situation whereby they cannot help you, and you are going to be helping them for the rest of their life. If they are going to be mentally challenged, or if they are going to get into an accident where they are not able to help themselves, then this person is in your hands for the rest of their life until you die. But then the black tax goes even further than that. The black tax goes further. Even your own siblings expect you to be doing things for them.
Yeah.
Claiming that our father took care of you. It is your time to take care of us.
Oh my God.
And people are very vicious about it. And if you do not toe the line, then you immediately become a number one enemy of your family. And then they start accusing anybody around you.
Oh, wow.
They will say that it is the wife that has taken you away from them. They will claim that so-and-so has taken you away from them. And it becomes a very toxic relationship whereby I was telling you that a friend of mine was in my office the other day and the phone was ringing. And she looked at the phone. Do you know the way somebody looks at a phone call and suddenly your mood just changes completely? And you know, she's a very good friend of mine. And I asked her, why have you looked at that phone and suddenly your mood has completely changed? And you know, she told me, you know, Jagero, it so pains me that I look at my father calling me and I don't want to pick that call. Because this old man retired and now he's expecting me to feed him and his wife. He expects me to give him money to go and take beer.
Wow.
He expects me to be the one feeding his own mother.
His mother?
Literally, yes.
Oh my God.
Sometimes I send him money and he tells me, have you sent something to your grandma? She calls me to tell me whether I have sent something to the grandma. Not to say thank you for what I have sent, but to ask me if I have extended my hand to my grandmother, who is his father, who is having other children.
Wow.
So there is no day. And she told me this almost tearfully, almost having tears in her eyes, that there is no day my father or my mother has called me just to tell me how I am doing in Nairobi, just to have a conversation with me and ask me about my life and ask me about my struggles and ask me about my feelings. And then they just say bye for now. They will start with that kind of beating around the bush and asking how the kids are, but it always ends in money. And this is happening. We know in Kenya, we say that the black tax is very rampant in Luland and Luyaland, whereby you're living in Nairobi and you go back home and there's a relative in your house from the village. And they didn't tell you, they didn't say anything. They're just there. And they want to be there for the next God knows how long without asking. And if you question it, then it becomes something else. So we were going back to the idea of, I think we were going to be talking about relationship, but then we have talked about relationship in a different way.
It is important because, you know, I forgot to mention it to you that there is a listener that asked me when I made an announcement of the new segment of Unraveling Life with Jagero. She asked whether this would act as a replacement of Nabu's journal to cater for what happened in the week. And I don't remember what my response was, but I may have had a plan of telling her that this is something that we shall also be doing. Have conversations about what transpired in the week. And we just did it naturally without even thinking.
Yeah, so that is the idea. So, but largely we have talked about rape and abuse amongst women and how we interpret it and how women decide that I want to profit from this. Yeah. And sometimes I don't understand a lot about definition of rape sometimes. Well, I don't know what the law is saying in Uganda right now. Because, for example, right now, what is the definition of rape in Uganda?
I have to check the penal code. Just a moment, let me find it. But as I get to find it, how do you think guys can protect themselves from such accusations without going as far as the cameras? But now there is
just masturbating the entire way. If she tells you if you are remaining with half a minute to ejaculate, then you masturbate the entire time. Leave her alone.
No, but then there is also this part, because, you know, we usually tell women, be careful, you can't stay in the same space with a man alone, right? But someone, I think I don't know how far back, this has just come back to my mind, but I was having a conversation with, I think, a parent of a boy, and she must have mentioned that she's going as far as telling her sons, if you're in a lift alone and a girl comes in, protect yourself. Because she can come up with any claim. She's going to say you groped her in the lift.
Yeah, but
You know
you
that
see,
kind
that
of
is,
thing?
for example, I can give you a scenario that just happened when I was coming to the village.
Mm-hmm.
I got an Airbnb
Yeah.
in Nakuru, where I was going to spend the night with my cousin, who I was coming to the village with. So this guy, what the idea is that he has got a 3-bedroom house, but he can easily close the other 2 bedrooms, and then it will suddenly become a 1-bedroom house.
Ah.
So I wanted a 1-bedroom house from him. And he told me, sure, I have one in the middle of town. So we went there and settled. But then some 4 hours later, there is a knock at the door. And I opened the door, and 2 girls, very young girls, about 20 years old, are at the door.
Mm-hmm.
And they are saying that the landlord, the owner of the Airbnb listing, has sent them to come and close the other 2 rooms.
What?
And I asked her, are you not the same person who opened for us this door? You. I am pointing at her. I'm telling her, you are the one who came here and gave us the key and left.
Uh-huh.
And she's saying yes. And I'm telling her, you did not know that you're supposed to close these 2 rooms before we came in. And I send both of them away. I refuse them entry. And I tell her, I'm not going to allow you to enter. Tell the owner of the house to give me a call. So now he gives me a call and tells me that, you know what, we just forgot to close the house. So these girls are just stepping in, closing. I told him, no, I'm not going to allow these 2 young girls to come into my Airbnb listing, brother. If you decided that you want to now come after we have settled to come and close these doors, you gotta do it yourself. You have to come here, show up here, and do it yourself.
Yeah.
So I told him in no categorical terms that those 2 girls are not getting into this place. Full stop. If you insist that they have to get in here, send me back my money and I will look for another Airbnb. So he said fine. He went and got watchman, and the watchman came with one of the girls, and the girl closed the doors while the watchman was standing there.
Mm-hmm.
You see?
It's one of the ways of protecting yourself, man.
Yeah. So if these girls came here and started making noise in this house, and the cops are called, and they are stripped and they are naked, and they are shooting themselves with phones, you know, and then they go and put it online, and then Nabuguzi saw it online with these 2 girls, with us. The question is, Jagero, why did you have to spend the night in Nakuru? Why could you just drive to your village? What were these 2 girls doing in your house? Mm-hmm. These are 2 girls, and you are there with your cousin. The 2 of you against 2 ladies. Jagero, I mean, it doesn't make sense. What do we have to do? We have to believe these 2 girls. You see how it goes?
Exactly.
Yeah. So there are things that a man can be able to do to protect themselves against accusation. But it's also very, very difficult to protect yourself against a grown-ass woman who wants to trap you. It's very difficult. It's very, very difficult to do that. So that is why people who've got a lot to lose will go to the extreme measures of recording every sexual encounter. Because the moment Neymar released that video, the lawyer left the case immediately. The lawyer said that I have been lied to and immediately excused himself from the case. The police said that they have reviewed the video and they are not taking any more steps. But do you know how this story would have turned out if Neymar didn't have a video? He would have been hounded and hounded and hounded, and Nike would fall off like a tick that is now tired. Everybody is going to fall off like Neymar. At any one point, there's more than 50 companies working with him. And the moment they see it online, they just drop. Like in 24 hours, they're all gone. But when they saw the video, all of them stuck with Neymar. And the idea is that having sex with people is not against the law. Having sex with people against their will is against the law. And according to what we have seen, there is no law broken. So the idea that a boy is in a lift and when he sees women coming in and he rushes out, I mean, that is trying to kill a mosquito with a hammer, man.
No, it's not necessarily rushing out, but like have it in mind that there is a possibility that something of this kind can, you know? Probably
but what are you gonna do?
He also has to switch on his phone camera to record the events of what's happening in there. You see that?
We don't want men to live like that.
That's the thing. The same way we don't want to tell women to be on their tiptoes. It is now two-way, like sad as it sounds.
Would you tell your sister not to take a dark alley at night?
I would.
Yeah, but why are other people...
Because do you know what is happening right now? Do you know what is happening right now? There's a time when I wanted to start running early in the morning, but there are so many questions you have to ask yourself. Will I just be scared of someone killing me, or am I scared of someone tracing me and raping me one morning? And you just can't do that.
Yeah, I think...
There's someone who was in the comment section talking about how she found it unserious for a woman jogging at about 5 a.m. Because in her mind, she was, what if she gets raped? You see that kind of tippy-toeing all the time.
That is a real danger.
Even for the men, it's a real danger that if a woman walks in to your life or walks into you in the lift, something can still happen.
It's more dangerous for a woman. It's more dangerous for a woman because a woman is weaker physically than a man.
And when it comes to a claim of raping, it's the same. Honestly,
if there is a danger,
mm-hmm.
if there is a physical danger that needs physical defense, a man would find it easier to defend himself, even against killers, than a woman would.
Mm-hmm.
You see what Oduku said on the internet the other day, that women are poorer than men in playing chess?
I didn't see the post.
So there are facts.
Oh, that part where the guy was... That guy who was, oh my God, that guy who went in with those, is it a hijab? And pretended to be
That guy is a nobody in chess. He went and beat all the best of the best in Uganda. But amongst men, he's a nobody.
Yeah.
So I think that there are serious dangers for women.
Mm.
And men have realized that they are stronger than women. A man pin you down and have sex with you. You feel energy, but he will still pin you down and have sex with you against your will. What you have to do is that you have to take precaution. You know, you wear gloves to carry something hot. It's a precaution. When you see something coming to you, you run away. It's a precaution.
Yeah, but then what do the men do? That's the thing that I'm talking about. If you're locked in the same room with, let me say where I am right now, and where I'm in the studio, there's no one at the hub. What does the man do to make sure that they're not accused of, trying to rape a woman, trying to rape me?
If when you're at that studio and if I am in that studio with you and you're trying to flatter me to have sex with you in that studio, I'm not going to do it. That is what you don't do. You don't leave the studio. But if a woman is encroaching in your personal space and want to do crazy things, you don't know why. I mean, this is a woman I've just met today and she's all over me. What is the game?
Do you think it mostly happens with strangers or people that we know? The claims?
People they know. People that have had consensual sex with.
Mm-hmm.
As a person, I think it is very important to listen to another human being in whichever situation. When it's a man-to-man, somebody has told you, man, I don't like the way you are. I mean, this joke, we are watching football, you're always talking and shouting at me. Let's just watch the football. We are in a bar, let's just watch the football and let's go to our different homes. The guy has told you very well that he doesn't like your banter. I mean, Arsenal is losing, yes. You're a Chelsea fan, yes, but keep the fuck up. Keep it down. Yeah. Don't be in my face about it. That's another human being talking to you, to give them space. Mm-hmm. Just give them space. You are in a working environment and this person doesn't like your company. Whether it is another woman and you are a woman and this other woman is telling you, I don't like your vibe, stay away. I am having my own time. Just stay away. And this is a woman who is in the same office with you. It is late in the night. You are there, the two of you. She doesn't want you around, just around her desk. Just keep off her desk.
Yeah. I've
realized that some women feel like being cozy next to a man and they don't like it. It's like doing the man a favor. I'm doing you a favor. I'm touching you. I'm doing you a favor.
They do. They have that mindset. I was having a discussion with some women and they say that if they tell a man that they like them, there's no way they are supposed to say no. It's a favor. Like, it's...
It's bullshit.
And I was like, what women. The heck? Because my question was, how is it that you can say no and the other person cannot say no? And they're like, I am the prize to win. I was like, what prize? What are you talking about?
Women are no longer prizes to win.
What are you talking about?
I'm telling you.
But you asked for the definition of rape, and the Penal Code Act of Uganda defines it as any person who has unlawful carnal knowledge of a woman or girl without her consent, and with her consent if the consent is obtained by force or by means of threats or intimidation of any kind, or by fear of bodily harm, or by means of false representations as the nature of the acts, or in the case of a married woman, by personating her husband, commits the felony termed rape. This definition is flawed. They define it as any person who has unlawful carnal knowledge of a woman or girl without her consent, or with her consent if the consent is obtained by force or by means of threats or intimidation of any kind, or by fear of bodily harm, or by means of false representations as to the nature of the act, or in the case of a married woman, by personating her husband, commits the felony termed rape.
What do you mean by impersonating the husband?
In case I'm married and someone comes in pretending to be my husband, maybe I find him in bed or something like that.
So according to Ugandan law, two things come to mind. One, when a woman sleeps with a boy, then it's not considered rape.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, oh my God.
If a married man forces the wife into sleeping with him, then it is not rape.
Yeah, we have the same mind almost. This is like, what the heck? Because here we are in a generation where we are having these LGBTQ conversations. What happens when a man rapes a man? Isn't that rape?
In Kenya, it says any person who attempts to unlawfully and intentionally commit an act which causes penetration with his or her genital organs. Kenya now caters for both genders.
Is that a revised version or is it something that has been existent for a while?
I think Kenya has been working on the constitution. The 2000 we overhauled our entire constitution in 2005, I think.
2005 is a long time. That's like 17 years ago?
Yeah. So we revised this thing in Kenya. So any person who attempts to unlawfully and intentionally commit an act which causes penetration with his or her genital organs is guilty of the offense of attempted rape and is liable upon conviction for the imprisonment for a term which shall not be less than 5 years, but which may be enhanced to imprisonment in life. If I force you Nabugus in Kenya to masturbate me, I have not committed an offense. Have I?
You haven't.
In Kenya, it is penetration. Unless your dick is in my vagina, or vice versa, it's not considered rape.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. What I'm seeing here is that the laws were made according to the things that we experience in life. But there's so many evolutions right now where men weren't marrying fellow men. There's a conversation that is now shifting towards normalizing these things. So where we're hearing cases
in Uganda, they are not going to be talking about a man raping. That is sodomy in Kenya. That is called sodomy. That's another penal code.
I don't think there is one specific one for that.
In Kenya, I think there is a...
The Constitution might have a provision of same sex. I don't know. I still have to look for the Constitution and find out.
There is no same sex. The Kenyan Ugandan laws do not talk about...
No, considering it as a crime. That is what we might have. Let me see. Homosexuality. I don't know if it's provided. I think it's not provided for. I don't know. We'll have to check later on. Are we still going to be able to talk about why people are single? What does the thing show? Do you think we can carry it on to the next episode?
We can carry it to the next episode.
Yeah. How should we close this? What do you want to leave for the listener that has joined us for this segment?
I think we were just talking about, we talked about rape and we talked about the question of footballers being accused of rape.
Yeah.
And most of them are, I think the last time a footballer was thrown in prison because of rape is a long time ago. More than 5 are accused every year in the United Kingdom. More than 5 are accused. And most of the problem is that these footballers, they have a lot of money and they're young and they're throwing big parties every other day. And women show up in these houses. So sometimes the woman is not expecting sex or they're just having fun and then just they realize that in the heat of things have happened and they don't. And then I also think that there are other people that are egging them on and accuse these people of rape. And then at the end of the day, they remain with a very hard case to prove. And sometimes people say that, you cannot consider the loss of a career and the loss of yourself after you have been abused. And both parties have got to have a case.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're emotionally damaged, it is just as bad as losing your your economic livelihood.
It's nasty.
There is pain. Pain is pain. So if you are going to say that my pain is less than your pain, then you are not being said.
It's subjective.
Yeah.
Really. We can't be objective.
Yeah, so
about
when somebody has lost their livelihood, there is a lot of pain involved. And the pain extends to the family, like an African player when they lose something like that. You can imagine an African player playing in England. There is a lot of black tax that is being levied on him.
Yeah.
And when you accuse him of rape unnecessarily, and you're just trying to get money from him, you can imagine the full effect of that single action.
Yeah.
But then again, if this man actually had sex with a woman against her will, then he deserves the repercussions, the consequences. He deserves them. Yeah.
I think the thing that we really dismiss is the repercussions that come out of our deeds and misdeeds. We never like them. We never like to have a conversation about them.
For everybody involved. For me, I feel like as a man, I have never understood how penetrating gives you any sense of, because I don't see it. I mean, even after ejaculation, I just wondering how gratifying it is. Because I feel like it is very criminal. Because when there is even an aspect of hate in trying to sleep with somebody against their will. There is some type of punishment, there is some type of hatred, there is some type of taking advantage of that I don't understand.
It's a thing of entitlement of a woman's body. I was having this, I don't know if I did share it on the podcast, but I've had a conversation with some people before and there was a pushback. And this actually happened in your house, but you didn't know. In 2016, I got a call or a text message. It was a call from some guy that was pestering me to sleep with him. And I don't know what I mentioned, but I think I told him that it is important for you to respect my rights and stop harassing me over your want of sex. And he said that I should also respect his right to have sex. And I was dumbstruck. He said that. He was like, you should also respect my right to have sex. Like, I'm sorry, what?
But you can buy sex when you must have sex. There are so many women selling sex in Nairobi. They're all over. They're on Instagram.
The person was in Uganda. It's not just in Nairobi. The person was in Uganda. So, what?
But even Uganda, it's even cheaper to have sex in Uganda.
I wouldn't know. I don't know how much it costs.
It's because Kenya, sex is very expensive in Kenya compared to Uganda.
Yeah, so that's it. See you guys next week.
Yeah, next week.
Goodbye.
I hope the viewers enjoyed this podcast, and we will be talking about why people are single these days.
Right.
In the next episode. I don't know about it, but I don't know why, but we are going to find out, right?
We shall be finding out.
Okay, see you.
Bye. Thank you for tuning into another episode of Hashtag with Nabuzichuanuka. If you loved Unraveling Life with Jagero, it is happening every Monday. Our episodes are still ongoing every Wednesday. Tune in for a new episode. And for the Unraveling Life with Jagero, tune in every Monday. But I would advise you to listen to everything. Everything, Monday and Wednesday. Perhaps we shall come up with something else that we'll be covering Fridays, I think. Just watch the space. Something could happen. See you on Wednesday.